Hey everyone, Mr. Dempsey here. This is a guide for round 29 of the manufacturer series. Let's get this started. You want to bring yourself to the left side of the track, and just before the path on the left ends, that is when you want to start to brake. You'll be braking hard for a while, then once you turn in, slowly ease off of the brakes. In this car, the Cayman, you can briefly go down to first gear to help the car rotate a bit more. Then enter this turn going in a bit wide, just ease off of the throttle, and before the green area on the right ends, you want to start to brake. Bring yourself all the way to the inside of the turn, then do a short lift off of the throttle here, and carefully start to accelerate. Brake as a track piece on the right ends, bring yourself to the left side of the track and brake when the curb on the left ends. Slowly ease off of the brakes and slowly start to apply the throttle. Brake just after the curb on the left starts, bring yourself to the inside of the track and carefully start to accelerate. Just take your time as you do not want to spin out or make contact with the gravel. Get on the curb on the right, then get on the curb on the left. Do all of this while going at full throttle. Now go ahead and bring yourself to the right side of the track and you want to brake before you reach the 100 meter mark. Just bring yourself to the apex, carefully accelerate, bring yourself to the left and brake a little early for this turn. You can use a touch of braking power just to help the car rotate a bit more. This is where it gets tricky. Brake before you reach the 100 meter mark and get on the curbs. Keep two wheels on the curbs, try to take it in as straight of a line as possible, and be nice and careful with your throttle input. Now just after the brown patch of dry grass on the left starts, that is when you want to start to brake. Just bring yourself to the inside of the turn, carefully accelerate, and you are good to go. But that is all for the lap guide. Let's go ahead and quickly talk about the strategies. For the qualifying session, you're going to have 10 minutes to try to get a good qualifying time. So if you're in a car that has good to decent tire wear like the Porsche Cayman, then it's going to be possible to run up to 2 qualifying laps before you do the whole jump out and jump back in strategy. For those who do not know what that is, this is where you do your 1 to 2 qualifying laps, you press options, exit, and then you press qualifying, or in this case enter course for the lobbies. That way you save yourself from doing an in lap during the whole pit stop animation sequence. You skip all that, you just spawn back at your pit stop, and all you have to do is an out lap and then continue along with your qualifying laps. And you're just going to repeat that until you run out of time. And don't forget that slipstream will be pretty useful here, so you want to try to stay within 3/4 of a second behind someone so you can take advantage of their slipstream and help yourself get a better qualifying time. For the race strategy, well, before I even go to that, you want to be careful on your first lap as your tires will be a little cold, so give them about a lap before they are fully warmed up and you can start pushing the car a bit more. But other than that, going to the actual strategy itself, this is going to be an easy no-stop race. The fuel is not an issue here. The tire wear is not going to be an issue for many of the Group 4 cars. If you're in a car like the Cayman GT4, then you're going to have a pretty easy time just going all out. You don't even have to worry about the tire wear. Even towards the end of the race, it'll have a little bit of tire wear, but it's not going to be a big deal. If you're in a car that has pretty heavy tire wear, for example the front wheel drives and potentially the 4-wheel drives as well, then you're going to have a bit of a harder time, especially on the second half of the race. At that point, the car is going to start to feel a bit more understeery, and the car is going to want to work less with you as the tires are not going to be able to provide the grip that they were able to at the start of the race. And one last thing I would like to mention is to be careful when you go through the final chicane, as it's going to be easy to cut the track limits even by a little pixel, and you can end up with a half-second penalty or even a 1.5 second penalty, as you see here. So you want to be a little careful there, and you also don't want to push the car too much, especially if the car can get unstable as you go through the final chicane. But that is pretty much it for this guide. Once again, this is a pretty easy no stop for most of the cars. But I'm going to go ahead and sign off now. So this is Mr. MCA, wishing you a good race, and I'll see you in the next video.